Only 35 minutes remain here at the DreamHack Open while we wrap up our semifinals and find the final 100 players that are going to be moving forward into stage 3. That's the grand finals, chat. That's where the $250,000 prize pool awaits them. I'm your host, hello Kelly Link, and we got Sancho West and Fallout calling all of the action here for the semifinals, and it was none other than Mr. Savage himself taking the victory royale in that last game that we watched, but I don't think that's too much of a surprise, Fallout.
Yeah, definitely not. We know how well Mr. Savage has been playing, not just today, not just yesterday, but last month, the month before that, the year before that, and the year before that. Mr. Savage has been doing it for a very long time. That's why he is the only 100 Thieves member to be signed in Europe. I'm pretty sure that's a true stat. And he is so incredibly sharp.
But was that victory royale enough to take him up on top? And it's not. Wow. iDrop, who was actually in that final game against Mr. Savage.
Look how close it is, though, Kelly. 3 points.
372 to 369. That is a 3-point difference there from first and second place. But you can see that it's starting to space out a little bit once we jump into third place, which is none other than Nate right there. We do have Rifla in fourth place. And then Wolfies is going to be in fifth. But if you go down the line there, go down all top 20, there are some big names in the European scene.
It's just a sick top 10. Just a sick top 10, Kelly.
Whew, and here is our bottom 20 chat. These are the players that are just scraping by, making into the grand finals. And then, of course, the 10 players that are so close but not making the mark. And that mark is 208 points. That is the current threshold to qualify. If you guys see a tie there, the tiebreaker does go to the player with the most victory royales. And then after that, it is the highest average elimination. And taking a quick look at those names there, Milan at 99th place right now.
I gotta say this, like taking a look at into the highlights, I don't see a mongrel in this, but it just shows you how difficult the semifinals is for some of these pro players. It's simply because in a set lobby, you could kind of predict where things are going to be. You can predict who you're going to go with a little bit, but the chaos of the semifinals of dealing with players that are all different skill sets to kind of and all different like same drop spots as yours, Kelly, is going to be so difficult to navigate that, as we're seeing some awesome highlights here.
Yeah, that's exactly right. We know Nate had a really strong late game as well. So that's something we got to give respect to. Look at that, 7 eliminations in the hands of Nate. Really, really impressive stuff so far.
Yeah, and what my favorite play was Mr. Savage putting the walls of Jericho essentially on Nate, holding them out, submitting him, and getting the victory out with the tap-out finish. I love that.
Is that a little wrestling?
Oh, yeah. You know that.
Okay.
The players that are wrestling right now with their points is the players that are in our bottom 100 or the below the 100. Of course, there are 1,400 players that are not going to qualify. Some of those players are like Kiriachi and Toos right now that are just barely missing the mark, chat. So make sure to give them love, support them, and of course, support these players that we have coming up because we got a game ready to go. But that is it for me. I'm going to leave it to these two gentlemen over there. Take it away.
You know what, man? The tag team of me, Sancho West, and Fallout. Is this going to be awesome to see what's going to happen? We've seen big names already colliding. We're seeing Mr. Savage popping off, Benji popping off, but I'm telling you, that top 10 Fallout is just nothing but big names in the EU region. And it's all going to come down to this very soon, as the queues are almost coming down to a close. We got about 30 more minutes, and then we got a little bit after that, but this is exciting here, Fallout. Only 100 players advanced to the grand finals, and already we got Mr. Savage here on the bottom right, and Nate. That's kind of like a rematch. Here we go.
I'm just going to list off our top 8, top 10 real quick because it's darn impressive. iDrop, Mr. Savage, Grizzy's Nate, Become Legends Rifla, Wolfies, Noah, Snazy, Benji Fishy, of course, Alpha and Alfie to wrap it up. That is insane. It is a stacked top 10. It is a stacked lobby, and I think we're going to be teeing up Levin and Shio perfectly for what's going to be a stacked and maybe historic grand finals. I'm excited. I love hearing me some Levin, 2K, and Shio wager casting, and I think it's going to be an amazing finish to this.
Man, what's so interesting to see is Savage with the change of drop spot. Essentially, Savage and Benji and Lechi like to land in Doom's domain, but Savage, realizing the solos, of course, is different, and maybe that there's other strong players out in Doom's domain, is going to elect to drop solo in the ruins. And let's see how this works out for him. This is the first time, again, seeing solos at the very early throes of an engagement. Goes for that Metro classic. Kind of gets right into that. Goes it again, and not afraid to use the utility bar. Cartoon is a player that's strong in himself there. Was able to kind of dodge those plays, and Savage is going to have some time to crack this tough turtle shell in Cartoon.
That's exactly right. It's going to be tough to do. 47 in terms of wood as it currently stands. Obviously, that doesn't really mean a whole lot. Unless he finds himself in an engagement, you know, he's gonna have time to loot up. That's what happens when you drop here at 40. Now, obviously, no longer knows I gotta fix that, but you have to obviously play smart. You have to be careful. There could be anyone that just peekaboo finds you, and guess what? Steelix might be that exact person right now, playing sneaky. And guess what? There's two people being sneaky, and Mr. Savage says, "Don't mess with me, bro." What a shot! The reaction time there had to be record-breaking. I would love to do an ESPN study. I forgot that guy's name for ESPN that does like the sports science things, but that was insane. That reaction time was ridiculous. The quick flick and pick from Mr. Savage was one of the best I've seen. That was insane. Steelix had him caught off guard too.
Now we see Nate gonna have to deal with that crazy, probably mythical, probably can't be explained by science, Fallout. Like, there's no science that can explain the reaction speed of Savage, you know? There's a reason why Mr. Savage is one of the best players in the world, already a DreamHack champion, trying to join another double DreamHack champion in Teak, I believe. Let's see if we'll be able to do that. It'd be great to be the two-time. As we're going forward as Nate, we're going to see a a Savage versus Nate part 2, as we saw in the previous match. Nate falling down to second place, submitting to Savage's hold at the last minute. But I like the movement here from Nate here, Fallout, being very cheeky, using that crouch, looking like a Gears player here.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Except you can't crouch in Gears of War, so I don't know what you're talking about. No, I'm just playing.
I'm talking about the rodeo run. The rodeo run.
Oh, the rodeo run. You can do a rodeo. That's true. That is true. I was just being a troll. You actually can crouch in Gears. Fun fact, you have to be in cover against a wall, and then you can do this little crouch thing. It's kind of fun, not going to lie. Shout out to any Gears players out there, former Epic Games made title. That kind of helped Epic Games propel to success in the mid-2000s, and also helped players like High Distortion, CBN III, Nick Merckx, Requiem, Camille's, myself, all came from Gears of War. And I gotta tell you, man, Epic's Gears of War, Epic's Fortnite, both great games. And now we're on board with Chapix, fighting a 1 versus 1, trying to make this a great game for him because he needs it. 204 points right now. He's gonna be close to that bubble.
Chapix can compete in the FCS trios alongside with Queasy and Milan. They were able to qualify with a strong performance, and you're seeing why. Chapix getting himself another elim, the first elim in the match. 209 points for Chapix. The projection for everybody out there is about 280 or so. I'll double check from the analytics side of things as we're taking in the replay feed. Big time battle between a couple, a dummy getting the elim there. Link, Hello Kelly's cousin from across the pond, maybe gets an elim on Kim Miz's box with a loaded pump action. Link as well, doing well, 217 points. So we're seeing kind of the top of the board here, competing, trying to squeeze in that top 100 here, Fallout.
That's exactly right. And it's going to be tough to do. Chapix needs a really, really big game here. I wouldn't say really, really big game, a relatively big game, as I think Chapix will be on the fringe, currently is on the fringe, currently is above the fringe. Last I checked, it was 208 refreshing, and now it's 218. So, yeah. Chapix, now or never, do or die. This game and maybe one more if you're quick. I think he will have time for one more if the queues are fast. Chapix might be able to get through. I think he's going to sneak through. I'm putting my money on it.
Someone that's definitely not sneaking through using the VIP entrance is Mr. Savage. Already, no doubt, qualified. Now it's just a matter of, man, of being on top of the board. Already going into this match just really close to the number 1. And to see Savage on the number 1 will put a smile on a lot of people's faces. Big fans of Savage. Savage dropping a merch line recently called No Signal. That's if you want to go ahead and check it out. Go to Savage's Twitter account. Hey, if you're gonna do your best to put all it on the socials, I will gas you up and I will gas it up. So No Signal merch dropping soon. Awesome streetwear. But what's gonna be the difficulty right here, right now, is Cartoon, who's going to return the favor and knock on Savage's door.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Can you imagine Savage, after such a good performance, gets taken out here? And of course not. He's too good. That's the reality. It's just the simple truth. I don't know what his opponent has in terms of loadout. If it's a purple shotgun, that might be scary for Savage. But Savage does have minis and some floppers. and decides to go for, oh, he only had 1 minute. I thought he had 2. Oh, no. Sancho, it's looking very scary. Thank goodness for floppers. That's not enough, though. 1 versus 1, mano y mano right now.
What a great bluff there. The crash pad did not break into Savage's box, but Savage was ready, reverses the steps, but Savage now has to deal with a third party as Cartoon gets beamed from the side by Letu. Letu gets some big help, and Savage could breathe for a moment. And on the bottom right of the screen, pop the big pot. And Letu is kind of the hero for Savage, but now he's going to try to mess with Savage. What are you doing? Leave him alone. Go get Cartoon. He's a weak man. Why chase Savage?
Oh my goodness. Mr. Savage is on a absolute goose hunt right now. Trying to stay alive. I don't know. He went from having a great inventory to what? 2 weapons? No shield? Very, very risky, shaky, scary. Speaking of scary music, speaking of Halloween, I think Savage might be done.
Yeah, it's just a matter of stamina. You took on a big fight from Cartoon. Letu SB kind of closes him up. As we're speaking of closing, queues close in 25 minutes. So if you're out there, you're wondering, do I have time for a couple matches? Yes, you might have to squeeze in a couple of aggressive W key games. But no, you only have 10 to mess with. But yeah, it just shows you right then and there, Fallout. Having a contested drop and an uncontested drop. As you can see, the contested drop from Cartoon kind of pushed Savage outside of the ruins, but they opened up the door for the third party to sneak on in. And someone that is 159 points, like in Letu there, really behind pace, but can still kind of cause some effects on the top of the board as we see IKZ making his way, driving fast, getting a lot of attention, Fallout.
That's exactly right. Meanwhile, we got Jerky, who finds a window of opportunity to get a frag on Hani. Nice job right there from Jerks. Heretics right now with 2 eliminations. And yeah, just got dinked in the face. That one hurt.
Those dinks are going to be what you got to watch out, because once you go down to metal, you know that person's like, okay, if I was beaming this person, they switch to metal, I know that they're hurt and that they're low, and they're using this precious metal. It's one of the hardest materials to find on the island, and that could be the green light for someone to go ahead and push in. But luckily, that player survives just a little bit as Kassery, strong player in the EU region. This guy's old school, one of the most... If there's a grand final, Kassery's in it. So Kassery with 211 points, looking really good to qualify, but he just has to get a big game here considering that queue's closed in about 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Kassery from the UK, a player that is just so interesting to me, and we've really kind of psychoanalyzed him quite a bit, which I know sounds crazy, but no, not that extreme. We've just talked a lot about him, Monster D-Face and I, and our previous broadcasts, and I love telling his story because it's a great story. You know, from the UK, finds a way to always be relevant, always be in the running, always be there on every broadcast. He just is one of those consistent players. The thing that we've always challenged him with is, you know, when are we going to see the peak, the ceiling of Kassery's gameplay? You know, we've seen brilliance in moments. We've seen moments of greatness. I want to see Kassery end up with a dub here. That's the question. 211 points right now. He's just about to barely sneak through to the grand finals if he can have a good game here.
Kassery really known for playing in duos with Mage, came in the first place in week 1 of the Chapter 2 Season 2 of the FNCS. Cooking up really hot just to see him in the solo stage. Finished in 13th place in EU region for the DreamHack Open back in July. It was probably one of his strongest finishes as a solo player. Just recently out here in, let's take a look, in August, finished in 65th place. So a little inconsistency for Kassery, but inconsistencies could be easily erased with a championship. You know what I mean? A lot of L's stacked up, but all you need is a dub to erase all those L's, Fallout.
Yep, that's exactly right. Dubs will do the trick. I've, you know, I live by the philosophy, Sancho, of when in doubt, get a dub. You know, you're having a bad day, get a dub. Your girlfriend broke up with you, get a dub. You got a bad grade in school, get a dub. And that's all you need to do to be really happy and successful in life. Sancho, I don't know if you agree with that.
I definitely do. And Kassery was certainly looking for dubs when he switched to the console and mobile track just for a bit to pick up some of the things, and that those finishes that he picked up in the FNCS Chapter 2 Season 3 Grand Finals, 56th place on the Carlson scene. So Cassidy trying to let everybody know that he means business, and he's here to compete here today. And his trio partners of Savian and Scully, no doubt, are rooting for their trio partner as a nice pickup from Nate. Nate gets a nice sniper shot. I believe he has this. I don't know if I think he ate a pepper or a spicy fish. Regardless, he's going to have some big time mobility for a couple minutes or so. As we're seeing a Fast and the Furious chase here. I feel like I'm in a helicopter here, Fallout, calling the high speed chase between Nate and Tomsy.
Oh my goodness. This is amazing. This is actually amazing. This is the Fortnite that we know and love now.
Tomsy ran out of gas. Tomsy ran out of gas.
You gotta be kidding me. This is literally a race. We're playing Forza now at this point, as we have an awesome viewing experience here. A actual car v car one-on-one street race between Nate and one other. As Nate wins the race, Nate gets there first, and we'll see if Nate collects the prize, gets a hold of the trophy.
We did see on DreamHack Booga doing some joyriding, posting out the donuts out there and the whiplash. And when he almost took over and got the first place from Mars OW, just falling short. A lot of people in the community were wondering, was it the joyriding that caused Booga that victory?
That's ridiculous. I'm just gonna say it right now. That's ridiculous.
I think it was more of him just being in vibes, you know, because the mental is one of those things as well. To have a strong mental in solos is the greatest test at Fortnite competitive, because it is so hard to kind of go down and you can easily get tilted. Fallout, easily get tilted.
Yeah, that's exactly right. You got to have mental stamina, mental toughness, and mental fortitude to be successful in solos. It's just such a mental thing. You're in your own head. Whereas if you're in trios, you at least have your teammates to gas you up, to hype you up, to forget about things, to talk, to laugh, to cry, to whatever, to yell at, to argue with. In solos, it's you, yourself, and I, or me, or I don't know. You get what I'm saying there. As it's all you, and it's all up to you to make sure you can stay on track.
I was waiting for you to drop a me, myself, and Irene reference, but I digress. It is Link, maybe the cousin of our great host, Kelly. Link, we have to look into that. We haven't checked into her historical lineage when it comes to the EU side of things. But Link with a very strong performance, 218, a little bit off pace to qualify, considering 280 is the projection to go ahead and qualify. So yes, connection complete from Link, making it true, and adding himself another chain link to his run here in the DreamHack Open.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Very impressive so far. Liking what I'm seeing from all these players. Liking what I'm seeing from the European region is now Link really leading that charge and giving us a lot to like to see, alongside many other players. Mr. Savage, Dementos has been playing well. We got Shift. We got a lot of people in Wave. Kinzel in the top 50. Snazy. Wolfies, of course, Mr. Savage, and of course, Benji Fishy, who have been performing very well. Now things are going to kind of slow down a little bit in this game. We are entering our second to last game. After this one, we'll have one more shot, one more opportunity for players to make it through. Will players like Castery, Link, and a few others that we've seen make it in, or will they crumble? We will find out. Only 100 qualify out of the 1,500.
This is the best part of the semifinal stage here, the DreamHack Open. You're going to see so many stories where people on the outside looking in, on the bubble, will it burst? And Brefsgaard, a strong player in the EU region, definitely on the outside looking in, as projections are going to be around 280 to 297. So if you're doing the math, knowing that queues are about to be closed, Brefsgaard basically has this game, and he's going to have to immediately get into the other one. So these are the questions that Brefsgaard is not only kind of navigating as well, he's looking through a cone edit to see what's around him. He's trying to figure out, do I stay in this game as long as possible, or do I queue out and jump into a remaining game? This is the kind of the meta gaming at its finest here, but Brefsgaard has a strong positioning as Zone 4 is about to be revealed. And he picks up a nice elim on stick right there. Nice elim with a nice cheeky peek. But now he has to make a rotation off this mountain. He's going to have to go down the valley and cross a river. This is a very dangerous rotation to make, considering that there's so many players already on the high ground looking down. Players like Nate and Chapix.
On board with Liu King. Using a little bit of a pea shooter here. Not much of a pea shooter. Sounds like one. Doesn't hit like one. as he connects for some damage right there. 2 eliminations right now for Liu King, 197 points. We just continue to follow the right players here. I love our DreamHack production team and our spectators, our observers, because they follow the story. And right now, the story is about Castery, Liu King, so many others. Link, can they qualify? Liu King needs to pop off here. It's going to be a scary, scary finish if he gets taken out.
So 1,400 players. 1,400 players, that's a lot of people who are going to have a big old sad face after it's all said and done. Queues are about to come to a close. We'll probably have one more game, hopefully after this one. Definitely have to check with production, but we'll have one more game for you folks just to keep an eye on and see who's going to be able to squeeze on in. And we have seen that the one that comes in that 100 place has the ability to win it all. The Cinderella story or the Cinderfella story can ring true, and we've seen it done before with Stretch. But looking now is in a tight spot. Whoa, what a nice 180 flip on the ramp, and boom, bomb on down with the golden shotgun pump. That was nice. That was really nice.
It was so nice that you got a little hype there. I heard the Grizzly in your voice.
It was good, man. That was a good time play, man.
It was, and I get there
down
too, man.
To the whites, and to turn that around and get that elim. You gotta feel good about that.
Down to the white, and it was nice. I like that.
Yeah.
So that's the Grizzly in Sancho's voice. That just makes me tingle inside, you know. And I hope it makes everyone in the chat, you know, also get excited, because guess what? There's a lot to be excited about, right? We are in our second to last game. We got some good Fortnite. We got the European region. And by the way, could we just talk about the European region one more time to give them hype? EU on top. Look at how good the gameplay's been. Speaking of which, Liu King, what? With 30 HP, hits the headshot with the gold spaz. Exactly what he needed. The gold pump shotgun does the trick, and 4 eliminations keeps him alive.
Liu King is clutching at the right time, but he's going to have to make his way through a lot of people as the congestion, as you're seeing here, so many arrows on it, as Toos, who Kelly mentioned during the break, was in a bind to try to get himself in that victory royale would be a big one to have. And considering he most likely has one more game to go through. So big time as Toos, one of our DreamHack champions, I believe, is going to have an opportunity to go for another 2-piece.
Toos going for a 2-piece.
I think Toos was one of those 100 players that qualified. I have to double check all that.
Yeah. Liu King getting some shots in. Needs to be a little careful though. Someone turns on him. And now Liu King continues to fight with fire. Liu King, this time, guess what? The fire has engulfed you. The flames have taken over, and he cannot survive. Castery, though, just on the top left of our screen, still alive.
And we see Frenzy. Frenzy was in a replay a little bit earlier, getting some elims. So 4 elims, another player, 218, needs a good game here, and another to punch the ticket into the grand finals. Already, top 40 placement points will be doled out. So every elim will come with an additional 1 point of placement, and every elim means 1 point will be doled out to everybody in the lobby. So you can see a difference of 2 tails. People being passive like Oxer, who's just going to chill and rack up elims, and people who are going to be uber aggressive, who are going to need a pop-off game. And if I was Oxer, I would be looking for a pop-off game, considering I only have 150 points Fallout.
That's exactly right. We will see who will rise to the occasion. I put my money on Castery. I'm sticking with that. Castery is looking fairly good right now. Low ground, center circle. Needs to be careful because there's a lot of big names. Look at this. Drop is in this lobby. We know Drop wants to end with a bang. Nikov in the lobby. Siberia Jakey in the lobby.
Big
and many others. Exactly. And many others.
Certainly big name, and he gets a great pull here as Zone 6 reveals it's going to be a full rotation, and he is sitting on height and in front of it. It's going to be a strong, dominant position, and he does have 1 shockwave, so he's going to be able to vault himself to the next on height if need be. But you're going to take a look at the other names in here. Mappy, getting a victory royale in the semifinals, is here. Nikov is here. ADN is here, and I'm looking at as well to see who else is around here. 231 points. A strong game if he could just finish in the 250s, meaning that he will only have to get about 30 or 40 points or so. Nice tags right there. Gets the attention a little bit of the lobby, but this is going to be now an opportunity to make this rotation. Now he's sitting on the backside of it, but he's just trying to find as many beams as possible and gets one on Mappy. That is like the ultimate to-go plate there. Grabbing that plate and out the door, 5 points, but now we're on board with ADN.
Yep, ADN, who we know definitely, if you've watched a couple broadcasts of, you know what he's capable of. A little gamer tag change, if this is the same ADN, which I assume it is. Okay, cool. Thanks for the confirmation there. A little bit of a gamer tag change. Big shot to ADN. We all know what ADN is capable of as a player. 157 points, though. So, I mean, he needs eliminations. He needs a victory royale. That's his only shot here, Sancho.
Yeah, and his trio partners of Amplify and from the Train Hard to the Matzo, they usually land in the Ruins area, but ADN and Refsguard, they have already crossed swords in the FNCS trios. Will they cross swords here as Chapix goes down to Storm? So Storm is still being a factor right here as we see ADN with 2 elims, 163, goes ahead and shockwaves up to height, gets a big tag on Siberia Jake, and now ADN's at height. But I'm taking a look at his mat count. Doesn't have a lot, but wow, what a big time pressure on Siberia Jake. And he has the ability to get a lot of mats in that and the Witch's Broom. So this might be ADN's opportunity to kind of solidify himself and get himself into the running for the grand finals qualification.
It all comes down to these last 26 players. I see Refsguard alive as well. Drop was literally 12 HP away from getting taken out. Wow. ADN needs a pop-off game. This is it for ADN, at least in this game, because I think he might be able to sneak in one more. It'll be close. Depends how fast the queues are. Aqua above him, though. Aqua is trying to hunt.
For ADN to do this in this lobby, and he's contesting Aqua, you see on the very left side of your screen, ADN and Aqua are going toe-to-toe. The POV of ADN's on the right. iDrop is just right there snipping on the mid ground, but the battle for height is true as ADN does disengage, uses the Witch's Broom to drop safely from height. But as always in the EU region, Aqua's on height. Aqua's on height, but he's being contested by ADN still, as down goes iDrop in your bottom right. But the battle between ADN and Aqua is still going up, and nice chop down. ADN, yes, connects and gets the finish on Aqua.
Wow. You can hardly believe what we're seeing right now. ADM with 188 points, needs 2 big games. Well, he's looking like he's going to get one of them, and he needs to go quick because he's got to get in the second lobby. I don't think this game will be enough. Even if he gets first, it'll be close. It'll be very, very close, but he might actually do it if he gets first in a few eliminations. Castry, though, another one that says, hey, Fallout, how about me? You put your money on me. Let me show you. You can put your money where your mouth is. Let's see if Castry can do it. As I say that, he takes her out. Mercury, ADM with high ground. He's content just chilling to this first place finish. But guess what? I think that was the broom, right? Or was that a bounce pad?
That was actually just a shockwave for height.
Oh, a shockwave. Okay, good looks.
Yeah, shockwave for height, but Oxer, like I said, around the 150, got some elims right here, but Oxer down he goes, and Aiden picks up big time elim, now crossing 201 points. The projection is 280, so this is going to be a big game for ADN to do it against the Aquas and Refsguard. So ADN, part of that awesome train hard trio of Matzo and Amplify, 201 points. The big concern, though, Fallout, is not a lot of mats. So this Storm pulls off, you're going to be expecting them to jump off with a bounce pad and or the Witch's Broom.
That's exactly right. That's where, you know, this addition of a few new items actually I think have been pretty welcomed because it gives you a little bit more mobility. It's not like the Shockwave launcher, which was kind of an auto win, just shoot and game over. But ADN continues to roll here. Refsguard still alive. That was a big one. And guess what? Mustard gets taken out as well. It comes down to this, a 1 versus 1. ADN versus Refsguard, and ADN has 215. He gets it! He gets the elimination! ADN with 227 points.
2 stories colliding in Refsguard on the bubble, ADN on the bubble. But Refsguard's bubble gets busted as ADN gets himself a little bit closer. We're going to take a look at the leaderboard to see who's in the top 20 and who is on that bottom 20. Don't you go anywhere. More DreamHack action coming up soon.
Thank you.